Well, welcome back to another episode of Buffalo Happy Hour. What's up, Mike?
We're in pajamas, drinking coffee.
So it is finally a day where it is before 9 o'clock
Yes.
and we're not drinking whiskey.
Correct.
All right, that sounded like we're alcoholics. Not finally a day, finally a recording day.
Yes.
It's not a regular Monday for me to start drinking before 9.
Goodness.
But we got coffee, dude.
We do. I'm still waking up.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So it's Saturday. It's Sunday.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning.
So it's Sunday morning. We're recording an episode because yesterday we did a interview with Premium Coffee. So when this releases, the interview will have been released on Friday.
Yep.
So if you haven't checked that out, check it out. We had a really good time. A lot of laughs. So we swung down to Premium in Hamburg. Well, Lackawanna. And they're on the Hamburg Turnpike.
Okay, Lack or Lock? Lackawanna or Lackawanna?
I always say Lackawanna.
Lack?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just me, though. I'm sure there's somebody who's going to scream at me for it.
Well, because Gina and I had this discussion yesterday. She says Lackawanna, and I say Lackawanna. Her mom says Lackawanna, so we needed a tiebreaker, and you just sided with Gina, so now we're the same way. So now it's 2-2. So now nobody knows what it is.
Perfect.
Leave a comment down below. Is it Lack, L-A-C-K, or Lock, L-A-O, Jesus. I'm still waking up too. L-O-C-K. Obviously, it's not spelled L-O-C-K, but how do you pronounce it?
I pronounce it the way it's spelled. But that's also probably because I'm a non-educated white man. Which is actually semi-fitting with the discussion of today.
Yeah. But anyway, so...
We'll get to that. So,
Premium.
So Premium Coffee is a coffee storefront that also does a lot of other stuff, like Queen City food trucks, which are formerly called gut trucks.
Yeah. Or Pine Hill. You've seen them driving around. If you have ever seen or don't know what Queen City food truck is, you've seen them driving around. You just didn't know it.
Yeah.
They're all over the place.
Literally everywhere.
Yeah.
So Premium Coffee has a storefront and a cafe bistro now, where they serve high-quality coffee products, and they also have a few different lines. They have a French press that you can buy in store. They have Buffalo apparel that you can buy, Bills jerseys, Sabres jerseys, art pieces that are themed Buffalo. They have quick grab-and-go sandwiches, and then all the coffee that you would ever want from places ranging from Guatemala, Ethiopia. They have Costa Rican.
Literally anywhere you would get your coffee from.
Yeah, so on top of that, they also do flavored coffee, which is what separates them from anyone else. Excuse me. So, yeah, it's insane. So they make different flavored coffees, and then they have a coffee of the month flavor every month. This month, it's chocolate raspberry. We sampled it. It was super good.
Delicious.
That was probably one of the funnest interviews we had, just because we're obsessed with coffee.
I was in heaven.
Literally.
I don't remember that whole conversation because I was just in a different state of mind.
It was so good.
Also, something to note, too, just to kind of hammer down the point even more, they're a coffee shop, but they do all the roasting and all of the grinding and everything there. So they import the beans from these different countries, and they do all the roasting at their spot. So they're there's a few coffee roasters in the area, but they're one of the biggest and probably one of the best in my opinion. And they're just doing everything right. It's all local. It's really sweet what they're doing.
Yeah,
they're a family-run business, too.
Exactly, yeah. Family-run business, which goes back to when I was in middle school, linking up with one of the siblings. And just having the time of our lives because they're very, very good on treating people like people and being consistent with I've never seen that family upset.
Yeah. He seemed like a very cheery guy, like all the time.
All the time. And it's probably because he's hyped up on coffee nonstop. Yeah. But the whole family's
like 7
that.
shots of espresso today.
Yeah, they're all like that. They're all like the super happy-go-lucky Italians that just run around, enjoy good products, whether it's alcoholic, non-alcoholic. They're just having a good time, and they connect with the people. So definitely go check them out in Hamburg. Their location is 2510 Hamburg Turnpike, basically essentially right on Route 5 south of Ridge Road. And you can walk right in, pick up what you need, and then they have all different stuff, dude. They got punch cards, so when you buy X amount, you get a bag for free. They have K-Cups. They have all different kinds of bags and all different sizes. They have 2 pound, 1 pound, half pound bags. And they just, now that they got this bistro, you can go in there and sit down and enjoy it instead of having to run.
Yeah, they have, so like Mike was saying with the punch cards, I have them right here. If you buy 6 pounds of coffee, which I do that's a normal Saturday for me.
Goodness.
Buy 6 pounds of coffee and you get the next pound free. And then for this punch card, with their bistro that they have now inside, if you buy 9 cups of coffee, you get 1 cup for free. So we filmed our interview right in their location where they were operating already. So there was customers coming in and out.
Right.
And I can't tell you, like, I was facing the door, and every single person that walked in had a smile on their face and were immediately greeted by Karen like they were lifelong friends. Mm-hmm. It is so cool the way that they run their business because they have the regulars that come in and they know every single one of them.
Yeah.
Some businesses are like that, but this just had a different feel to it just because it's coffee. No one is happy in the morning besides you. It sounded really morbid, but most people are like, you still need to wake up before they have their coffee.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be the place that you go to get energized. And people are coming in all excited because they know that they'd see the whole cast there and just be excited to get some coffee from them. So it was a really, really cool experience. Definitely go watch that interview and go buy your next pound of coffee from them because they got some great coffee.
Yeah, dude. It's super good.
So what do we got here right now, Mike?
So we have the Ethiopian blend, which is made at a specific altitude. If you don't know too much about that, we dove into the science about coffee in the interview. So check that out. But it's probably the best cup of coffee I've had in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Long time. And recently I've been on a kick with having a higher end type of coffee, but that was just because it was donated and it's sensational. It's Black Rifle, so I'm all about it.
Oh yeah.
But switching to this, it's smooth, not as coarse.
Very smooth, right?
It's amazing.
So when you make your coffee, how do you make yours? What is your scoop to water ratio?
Oh, I don't even know, man.
Oh really? You don't have a science behind it?
I just have my thermos, so I pour my thermos into the auto drip, and then I put in like the normal.
That's what I mean. Like how many scoops
amount.
you put in?
You
don't know?
I just kind of eye it.
Oh, okay.
It's not a whole hell of a lot because for Black Rifle you don't need a lot.
Yeah.
For Ethiopian, Costa Rican you don't need a lot because it goes far.
I do a half plus 1. So like today I made 6 cups.
Yeah.
Fill it up to 6, and then I put in 4 scoops of coffee.
Okay, I think we're 2-1. I don't know. Kylie always yells at me. I'm a mess, dude. She's like, you just follow the recipe. I'm like, it's not the same.
Well, and we also talked about this too. Is it varies how much water that you want to, like your water to ground ratio, dependent on the the coarseness of the grounds.
Yeah.
Because if you have a fine ground, you're gonna want. It'll be less coffee because there's more surface area for the water to touch the coffee bean or the coffee. Whereas more or coarser ground, you'd want more water because then it has to go through. I might get this backwards. It's still like 4 a.m, so I'm not 100% sure. But go listen to that interview because we do get into the science behind it, and it was cool. It's a good time.
So in honor of coffee, we decided to wear pajamas.
Oh yeah.
For this episode.
I'm a plain Jane man. I got my buffalo flannel pajamas on and a sweatshirt that I wear literally every single day because it's so comfortable and it keeps me warm in my house that's 27 degrees all the time.
Right.
But you took it to another level. You're like, dude, you're going to say something when I come over. I'm like, what possible pajama can he wear besides a banana hammock that I'm like, what are you doing? But no, dude, you just went all out.
I'm wearing a onesie.
Oh my God. If you're not watching on YouTube, please go watch on YouTube because this kid is ridiculous.
I'm wearing wool socks on my slippers. Obviously my house shoes. And then I got my onesie on. And it's super soft, dude. It's got a hood.
What onesie is it? Who is that person?
Dude, come on. Let me look it up.
You can't wear a onesie and not expect to explain it.
It's 4 a.m. and I can't remember what's happening. Let me look it up.
You're who is it? It's the guy from
it's the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas, right? Not Nightmare on Elm Street. I was trying to. I'm pretty sure that's a terror movie.
Jesus, I'm Jack Skellington.
That's who it is, Jack Skellington.
Yeah, okay. Jack Skellington. So,
how did you get that? I can't imagine you consciously bought it for yourself.
I did.
Did you really?
It was because we went to a New Year's party for 2020,
okay.
And it was onesie themed. So I went to Target and bought this onesie, And then I wanted Colleen to buy a onesie, but she didn't do it.
And it doesn't fit.
What, mine?
Yeah.
No, it shrank. So...
Yeah, where's the flood, Mike?
Yeah. So it's... The pant legs are just like...
Up to your kneecap.
Yeah, it's basically at my shin. But I'm all about it, dude.
But
This thing is so
it's comfy,
soft.
man.
It's
it
so
looks very
soft.
comfortable.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But yeah, so that's why we're wearing pajamas today. Is because we're drinking coffee. And we're just living the dream, man.
That's it.
We're recording a podcast, drinking coffee in our pajamas. What more could you want?
Seriously.
We look like hoodlums because both of us have our hoods up.
I'll drop it.
Nah, dude, you're good. Right. I like having mine up.
Oh, it's so warm,
Right?
bro.
And it's 40 degrees in my basement, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, dude.
So, in regards to today's episode,
God.
I gave you homework to do.
Dude, I was so pissed.
Why?
So we had that... Okay. Next week, we're going to do a full biographical discussion on Cher, the singer, okay? You got to do all the research on Cher because I want to hear her top 5 singles from 2000 to 2003. That's the type of homework you gave me, man.
Essentially.
I don't friggin' know Lewis and Clark.
We're talking about Lewis and Clark today.
Oh, my God. So I did some research, so I'm somewhat prepared.
Okay.
But where do you plan on going with this discussion? What is the purpose behind this discussion?
The purpose is because we were discussing alpha males most all of season 1. Mm-hmm. And it was a term that we kept throwing around. Well, it just triggered in my brain that who's more alpha
Than Lewis and Clark.
than Lewis and Clark, who were literally tasked with one mission, and it was to just explore a giant piece of land.
From the east to the west, basically.
Yeah, to figure out if there's water passageways that we could use for trade from the Pacific Ocean to where they were.
And there's not.
Correct.
So-
Which obviously we know now, but it's all thanks to Lewis and Clark.
Right.
And their boys.
And they did it-
female that they brought out.
And they did it because of, from like a legal standpoint, if they trekked that, it's their land back then. So they were worried about the Spanish coming in and taking or seizing the land because no one's trekked it yet.
Right.
So, because the Spanish sent out their version of law enforcement to go capture Lewis and Clark because they were scared of them conquering that land.
Correct.
I did research, bro. It might have all come from Wikipedia, so there could be some falses in there, but you know.
So what else did you find? So what are the dates on this? When did they kick off?
They started in 1803
Yeah.
after the purchase of the Louisiana Purchase from the French.
Yes.
Right? For 40 million, did we talk about? What was it?
15 million.
15 million. Wow.
Yeah.
I was closer last time.
Yeah, you said 13 last week. So
Well, this week I'm saying 40. It went up. Inflation, bro.
so we bought it from Napoleon.
Yeah.
And we had absolutely no idea.
Tina, eat your food.
We had absolutely no clue what we bought. They were expecting to wander into woolly mammoths, saber-tooth tigers.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, the president was just like, yeah, you might encounter woolly mammoths.
Well, it's the 1800s. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but still, I feel like you would be a little bit more well aware of what you might encounter. You're not going to encounter a mythical creature.
Woolly mammoths and saber-tooth tigers did exist.
Well, yeah, but they're few and far between.
Yeah, but... Okay, yes, you're right.
So, Lewis and Clark, in 1795, I didn't know this, because I wanted to look up some interesting facts, because I'm sure that you had the wealth of knowledge behind it, the reason behind it, the history behind it, but I wanted to look up some interesting facts that other folks might not know. So, in 1795... Lewis was actually transferred to a different rifle company after a drunken dispute. He challenged a fellow colleague in his old rifle department to a duel when he was drunk.
Yeah.
And they transferred him out of that into the new rifle company, which was manned by Sergeant Clark, Commander Clark.
Mm-hmm. That's how they met.
Which is sick.
Yeah. So
What a badass way.
He challenged one of the leaders in his company to a duel, meaning we're going to face each other and then we're going to shoot each other and whoever wins wins.
Yeah, like old Western style.
Yeah, so then he
Take
got
10 steps and turn around.
Yeah, he got court-martialed and he wasn't charged, but they just made him switch companies. And then when he switched companies, he ended up meeting his new commander, which eventually led into the expedition. So Clark? No. Yeah, I think Clark was the secretary, the personal secretary of Jefferson.
Clark, yeah.
Yeah. So he was tasked with basically coming up with a team to go through this endeavor.
Which was 31 members.
Yeah.
Only one died throughout the whole situation, right?
But he died like 3 minutes into step off.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even count.
Right.
His appendix burst.
Right.
And they're like, okay, be gone with you. So they had like 200 pounds of gunpowder, 400 lead bullets.
400 pounds of lead.
Oh, yeah, 400 pounds of lead, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Jeez, can you imagine trucking that?
Dude, you know how
across
dense-
the entire United States?
Yeah, you know how dense lead is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very dense.
They're crossing the Missouri, and they're like, dude, this is nuts. So when they get to the Missouri, they're looking at it, and they know that they have to go upstream. Okay? So for those that can't fathom that, that's against the current, obviously. So they look one way and realize that it's muddy. And then they look the other way and realize that the water's clear. And they know that the clear is upstream. So they go that way. And that's how they figured out what's upstream and what's downstream.
It's crazy.
So they start going up, and they're like, we'll just follow this waterway and then map it. So Lewis was the one that was super good with the journals. And both of them were officers in the Army. And they had their crew. So they had a bunch of guys, and they went out. And it was like a selection process where they had to formulate their own team. So everybody had to have something to the table, right? Like some kind of assets and skill set. So they started trekking. So what else you got?
So they ran into the French-Canadian trapper. You
Yep.
know his name? Nope, not by looking it up.
Not off the top of my head.
It's Toussaint Charbonneau.
And he was the one that was with our woman.
Yeah, Skagakota Expressway. Yeah. He was with her.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, so like Sacagawea was kidnapped from her tribe when
Yes.
she was younger. When she was like, what, 13 or something like that?
Yeah, she
She was
was
kidnapped from her tribe by a different tribe and then sold to Mr. Charbonneau for money or whatever they wanted. So that's how Charbonneau got or received Sacagawea.
yes.
They then did the dirty and they had a kid. So like the whole time that she was, well, not the whole time because she ended up giving birth on the trek, but she was carrying his baby, who later turned out to be Jean Baptiste, which is so badass. But yeah, so he ended up joining the trek, and so did his pregnant wife Sacagawea. So that's how she came into the picture. But she was vital in the actual trek because she's the one that can, one, translate and be basically a liaison to the Indian tribes, because Lewis and Clark were just two random men. And if you know anything about America's history, it was not when two white guys, never mind, we're not even going to go down that route. But she was a good, like, barrier between the two to be able to facilitate the relationships between both Lewis and Clark and the Indian tribes.
Right. And at the same time, the Indians actually liked Lewis and Clark because they weren't hostile.
Right.
The only time that they were hostile was against like the Blackfeet tribe.
Yeah.
If I'm saying that correctly, and it was a quick shootout on the way back.
Yeah.
And then two of them died, and then it just kept going. But there were multiple times where the Indians would actually steal from Lewis and Clark. They would
Stole their horses, right?
Yeah, they'd steal their horses, and then Lewis and Clark actually killed the guy that stole the horse. Same with the dog. They stole his dog, and then they woke up the one morning and
Don't
realized...
touch my dog.
Yeah, they realized... It's like John Wick. They realized the dog was gone, and it immediately pissed off Lewis and Clark.
Yeah.
Like, they were heated. So they found him, killed him, and then they put their symbol, basically, on him, and then beat feet before the body was found.
Oh, okay.
Because then it would have been like borderline an act of war.
Yeah.
So those were the only real times. But otherwise, they were so tanned from being out on the trek that
That's true.
they didn't realize that the Indians didn't realize that they were white. So Sacagawea, Lewis, and Clark walked up to the Indians that they stumbled upon, and then they would raise their fur and then show their actual skin because their wrists down to their hands were just burnt from the sun. So all these nicks and tricks most people don't even know about.
Right.
But it's fascinating. So the other thing that we kind of breezed over that I really don't want to breeze over is the fact that she's pregnant and then carried a newborn. And well, she gave birth, and then she carried her newborn
Right.
through the trek of 7,000 miles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then
What a beast.
over the Rockies.
Talking about Alpha, we got to talk about her.
Yeah. Like,
She's the real alpha in this situation.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, women can whoop our ass.
Oh, absolutely.
Anytime they want.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
She ended up giving birth to him, but then she also ran into her long-lost brother.
Which she didn't realize until he showed up.
Right?
And then she looked and goes, oh my God, that's my brother. And it was like this big moment.
He's the head of one of the tribes that they ran into.
Mm-hmm.
And his tribe is actually the tribe that gave Lewis and Clark additional horses because their other ones got stolen.
Yeah. And they had to keep eating the dogs as food through the Great Plains because they were running out of food. Then they had so much salmon that they had like mercury poisoning.
Oh, really?
And they were going mad. And then when they finally made it, and then on their way back, well, when they first got to the Pacific, they were offered salmon. And they're like, no, like give me some like deer.
Red
like,
meat.
yeah, we need red meat, venison, something, because we're sick of eating salmon. And then the mercury poisoning actually caused some of them to go mad. So when they got back, most of the guys didn't even want to go back into civilization. So they just became mountain men and then died shortly after. And then Lewis committed suicide.
Yeah. He died mysteriously in 1809.
He committed suicide.
Which I have a theory.
Go ahead.
I traced Clinton's history all the way back. So James McDougal is an ancestor of Hillary Clinton. So you never know. Started way back then, bro.
Yeah, the Clinton body count.
That's where it started, I heard.
Goodness.
No, I'm just kidding. That was just all speculation on my end.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, so he died mysteriously over there.
Yeah, mysteriously.
Yeah. That's what I read, bro. And that was on History Channel. Maybe it was like a shot to the chest, like the dude that just died today.
Yeah.
Right?
That's insane. It was a DOJ or DOD whistleblower? The
DHS, right?
Oh yeah, DHS.
Yeah.
Sorry, the 3-letter alphabet.
Yeah. Acronyms.
Right.
So the DHS whistleblower, yeah, just committed suicide by shooting himself in the chest.
Yeah, and it was like outside of his home.
Yeah. No.
Right. So anyways,
Epstein did not kill himself. But, so yeah, dude,
losing subscribers.
It's fine. We already lost 2 today for some reason. But anyway. But yeah, dude. So it was actually very interesting. I mean, if you would have told me in high school, do research on Lewis and Clark, I would have been like, what are you talking about? Absolutely not. And then I'll just basically, I was sucking up to the teacher to get a better grade. That's what I would do. And then copy the homework of the guy next to me. But for this, I actually felt like doing research.
Dude, the things that they did in the times was just extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have GPS. They didn't have maps. They were creating maps, and then they were able to get back to their position after 6 months of splitting up and going in different directions.
Which is crazy.
So they'd reach a fork, and they're like, all right, we have to figure this out. So you go 150, 200 miles this way, and then I'm going to go 300 miles this way, and then we're going to meet back here in 6 months. And we're like, okay, sounds good. We're going to cache our goods. So they cached their goods, and then they beat feet, separated, and then they made it back within 1 meter.
That's insane.
From where they were on a 10-digit grid, and then dug up all their caches, and their goods were still good after 6 months. Then they picked up, and they're like, all right, what did you get? And then they shared intel, and then they're like, okay, so that way is not the way to go. We're going to go this way. And then the guy that went that way led the way, and they kept on. I mean, they just drove on. That's insane to think about,
Right.
dude. Like, I've spent 8.5 years reading maps and training dudes on land nav, and there were times where I was like, hold on, give me like 30 seconds because I'm starting to get turned around. And I had all the tools necessary. Mm-hmm. I had a map, I had contour lines, I had a compass, I had a protractor. Like, to not have any of that and just to deal with all the conditions,
Yeah.
and then 6 months later to remember where you were, come on, dude. There is zero excuse to get lost.
Right.
Zero excuse.
It's all knowledge based though, because like you said, they were sergeants.
No, they were officers.
Oh, they were
And
officers,
historically, officers are atrocious at land nav.
Oh, that's true.
But it's insane what they did because it wasn't land nav. It was legitimate orientation.
Yeah.
Like, it was astrology and knowing what the North Star was.
Do you know that shit, like astrology and stuff?
Do I?
Yeah.
I can pick up like 3 constellations and the North Star, and that's
I'm
it.
like the Big Dipper, and then I give up. Because
Really?
That's the easiest one. Yeah, I'm not going to find Orion's belt. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
What is that? How do I even look for that? It's just a line, isn't it?
Kind of, but everything feeds into it. So when you find the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper, then you're super close to Orion's belt, and then you can find it. And then from there, you know, based off of that, where the North Star is. So it's just hours and hours of looking at the stars before you go night-night in your fart sack.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah.
Because you did that quite a bit. I didn't.
For a little bit.
I wasn't, like, outside a lot. So.
Speaking of outside, dude, winter's almost over. I mean, we're going to get blasted with snow on Thursday and Friday.
No, we're not.
We are.
They say that all the time. The last huge major storm that we were going to, like, die from, which was 4 weeks ago, I got an inch.
Yeah, I was snow blowing all night.
You live, like, 15 minutes from me.
Yeah, because that's where the snow band was. And then in East Aurora, you couldn't even see anything.
Not I was good here.
It was sick. Keep working from home. God. I had, like, people call me, like, can you show up today? I'm like, you're lucky I have a truck with sand in my bed. Yeah. Throw tube sand back there and driving around. Rocking out, listening to pods. Unbelievable.
But yeah, so I don't think they were going to get hit.
Well, they're expecting a few inches.
That's not hit, though.
Like
For
4 to
Buffalo,
5 inches.
It's like 14 feet.
No, obviously. But at the same time, right now we have nothing.
It's true.
It's 40 degrees out right now.
I know.
And it makes me just want to go camp.
Yeah, 45 or something today, right? That's
Yeah, I'm taking Sam out for an adventure today.
Are you?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
The unused plot of land for the cemetery and let him run around. Because I can't take him in the actual cemetery. No dogs are allowed there. I don't think that he's allowed where I take him anyways. But no one's there. It's just a giant field.
Yeah.
So I just let him run around. And then if he, takes an excited poop, then I just pick it up and carry on. Like, I don't
Or you
care.
just leave it and scuff it under the rug or something.
No way, dude. You can't be a surface shitter, man. There's morals to that. You got to bury it.
I know. I have a ton of poop bags underneath my sink. When I take Cleo for a walk, we pass a dog grooming place that they just have the bags out there. So I just steal like 7 of them whenever I walk by. And I mean, they're out for the public. I don't actually steal them.
Right.
But I grabbed like 12 of them because I know that I'll do.
Oh, now we're at 12 because before it was 7?
Yeah, I mean, I'll grab like 106 of them. Well, now that I can't use Wegmans bags to pick it up, I have to do something.
Yeah, Weekmans. I can't believe they charge for paper bags, dude.
Right? Like, what are you...
And I get it, like, we should be reusing reusable bags, which, shout out Premium Coffee for the reusable bag, hashtag not a sponsor. But I mean,
at this point, they basically are. They just gave us all the stuff. So,
true.
Episode sponsor.
Yeah, episode sponsor. It just bothers me that they charge for paper bags, because that's recyclable. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, the plastic bags, their carbon date would take a while. I understand that. But paper? Give me a break. What is this,
We're
the 50s?
not even the biggest users of climate change.
Correct, we're not.
China and India are still going to be number 1 and number 2 forever.
Dude, you know what I saw?
And if you think plastic bags are really going to help, I'm sorry, whoever this offends. It's not helping. Because you know who's still using plastic bags?
Everybody.
Tops.
Yeah.
What is Wegmans going to do?
That, and then all the food that you buy in the prepared section is all surrounded by plastic.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to swap out your Starbucks straw for a noodle? Sick. Your coffee's still in a plastic cup. What are you doing? It fires me up whenever I see that because it's like, dude, there's no progress. This literally cannot even be like, it can't be measured.
It can't. It's going in the right direction, but it's not going to make an immediate impact that people think it is.
No.
It's insane.
You need other countries to buy in, and you know what? Other countries do not buy in. Because you know who the other countries want to beat in the industrial race? Us.
Yep.
So if we tell them, hey man, you can't be putting out this industrial output anymore because you're hurting the climate, they'll be like, oh yeah, okay. Get out of my face. I'll do whatever I need to. And then they go home and just do the stuff that they were doing.
You know what's crazy? The homelessness in California around Malibu. They're on, I need more coffee.
Jesus.
I know. I'm getting all fired up.
Pour like half of that in there, and then we'll do the rating before we destroy the rest of it.
What is this wizardry? Do I hold this button in the back?
Yeah.
To then move
Never used a Contigo, bro?
No, I've never used, hashtag not a sponsor, Contigos to pour my coffee.
It keeps my coffee warm all day. So pour half of it, and then after we finish this...
How do I know what half is? It's dark inside.
Okay. What'd you get? Did you put like half your cup in?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways,
So
the homelessness and the homeless people in Malibu. So what a glorious sound that is.
nailed it.
They're now taking over the beaches and then dumping their sewage anywhere. And then because the sewer system can't keep up with the amount of people that are homeless. And then the governor's just complaining about how climate change and jobs are affecting the homeless population. When in reality, it's just all that. Never mind. It
I
bothers
just
me.
love how we can talk shit about California because everybody talks shit about California. But I love how their solve to homelessness is like, let's just put a bar across the bench. And homeless people are like, okay, bet. I'll still sleep on it.
Seriously.
So they just put a blanket over the bar and they sleep.
Yep.
It's not going to help anything.
I know.
But, oh my God, I just get so fired up when we talk about that because people, I understand where Greta's coming from with her climate change activism and whatever, but a lot of it has to deal with outside forces than the U.S. And we're not going to be able to convince China and India to stop. So this problem isn't going to get better until China and India do it. And I know what everyone's going to say is the Paris Climate Accords. But all of our tax dollars that were going to the Paris Climate Accords, China and India still didn't do anything. We did everything and no other country did.
Yeah.
So we were paying for something where no one else is participating and it was just a waste of money at that point. People need to understand what is actually happening instead of what's on the news.
So they pass certain policy. Anyone around the country, it doesn't matter what state, but people pass policies to help climate. But then they pass other policies that increase homelessness, and then affect jobs and affect people in their everyday life because they can't afford to live anymore. And then when they're homeless, there's nowhere to put them or keep up with the waste that humans produce because we're basically our own cancer.
Right.
So then we don't even use our own systems in place like septic, drop our own sewage into the water, which then hurts the ecosystem, which then kills the animals, which negates the policies that were passed to protect the animals in the first place. So you can't pass policies to help climate when you're just passing more policies that just hurt it in the long run anyways, but then you're just trying to get reelected because it's a game? Like, what are you doing? Like, we need responsible leadership from top to bottom. It just bothers me.
And it's not going to happen with the system in place because you have career politicians that are just doing stuff to get reelected.
Correct. And I'm pretty liberal when it comes to science because I love science and
Yeah, me too.
I love environment.
I agree.
I'm all about the woods, but at the same time, like I can't even say use common sense because that's going to go into the 2A, and that just blows my mind too. No pun intended. But it drives me nuts, dude.
Let's pull the trigger on that conversation.
So, anyways,
But yeah, no, it's crazy to think about. And there's also the ongoing discussions on electric cars are actually doing even more damage because you can't dispose of those electric batteries anywhere.
exactly.
So we're trying to fight it. We're trying to fight natural gas engines and stuff with these electric or hybrid cars. But those batteries you can't dispose of, which are going to be piling up in landfills and everything too. So it's just going to be an ongoing problem that's not going to be solved. That's all you can do is just...
And Tesla doesn't even tell you how
coffee.
much it costs to replace the car
No.
batteries. So you're basically just in for a $60,000 investment, and then that's it. When
But dude, I can go from 0 to 60 in half of a second.
absolutely.
Put the pedal to the metal and that electricity comes on. It's like Einstein, bro, just flying.
What's the lifespan of a
E equals MC
Tesla?
squared. Okay. I don't know.
Because you can get like a Silverado hit 1 million miles.
Oh, yeah.
Can a Tesla hit 1 million miles? I wonder.
It'll die.
No. I'm saying not on one
car
charge,
itself?
but I'm saying the batteries.
Oh, I have no idea.
You know what I mean? Like, what's the lifespan of the batteries? Can you hit 1 million miles in your Tesla?
I don't think that's even been experimented yet because they're so
Yeah.
relatively new.
Yeah, that's true. They haven't even been around long enough to hit 1 million
Like
miles.
4-year-old whiskey, man.
Which, all right.
Bringing it back.
Yeah, so there's 2 documentaries that we recommend watching. One is on Amazon Prime. Is the
Which
other?
is free.
Yeah, which is free.
If you have an Amazon Prime membership, it's free to watch. There's actually like 10 of them on Amazon Prime. Did you see that?
No, I saw the Scotch, and then
There's a Scotch one that you looked at, which is just like the basics of Scotch or how Scotch is made.
Yeah.
And there's another one that is focused on the Islay Scotch, which is
Okay.
like your Lagavulin, your Bruichladdich, Laphroaig, and all that stuff, which is so interesting to see how Scotch is made.
the thing that I'm obsessed about with Scotch is the people that make it in Scotland have been in the industry I mean, dude, longer than we've been alive. And the one guy specifically in the documentary that I watched, he's been in it for 53 years.
Yeah.
53 years, bro.
It's crazy.
It's amazing.
He started when he was, what, 13 or something?
15.
Like that? 15, yeah.
He stopped going to school and then started sweeping the floors.
Yeah, I got to that part.
Yeah, of all the malt.
I got really, really tired, so I ended up stopping that one. But I watched the first one.
I fell asleep watching a Lewis and Clark documentary on Nat Geo.
Yeah, figure.
Come on, dude. I was exhausted.
Lewis and Clark went to the Louisiana Purchase territory.
It's like, how can you not fall asleep listening to that?
Remember when they used to play those in high school?
Yeah.
Like the hungover teacher would drag the TV with the ratchet straps into the classroom, and you'd sit there and you're like, today's a good day.
They'll
Like,
put in the VCR.
yeah, like, the teacher's probably still high.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, we're watching a movie
Guys,
today.
watch this documentary.
Yeah, and then you're just sitting there
The
watching
Earth
it.
is actually flat.
And it's like, whoa. All right, teach. Relax.
I miss it, man. You'd watch the Magic School Bus for like a week straight.
Yeah, and then you're watching for that little thing to bounce between the corners and just to hit that corner just right.
Yep.
Everyone loved it. I never saw that, though.
Oh, I have multiple times.
Oh, stop it.
No, seriously,
My
because
God.
I used to
You
have
see this kid? Yeah, I saw multiple times.
the Sony.
I created the TV.
My uncle's a TV repairman. He's got all the tools.
Best in the industry.
So we had a Sony DVD player growing up, and then that was their save screen. So
Really?
yeah, so basically it would be their Sony DVD logo.
Oh, yeah.
And then every time I hit a corner, it would change colors, or just like a border in general, it would change colors.
But did you ever see it hit like the actual
yes,
corner?
I would sit there and wait for it because my
I
sister.
don't think it ever happened.
It did happen. Dude, if you YouTube it right now, you could probably see a gajillion videos of someone celebrating.
I don't want to see somebody celebrating. I want to celebrate myself.
Well, then spend the time.
On
After
what TV now?
What do you mean?
My Roku doesn't do it.
It's pronounced Roku, but that's neither here nor there.
Let's rate this coffee before it gets cold.
much-
Although
I never started the timer.
that's fine. We don't have limitations, bro.
How long has it been?
40 minutes.
40 minutes?
We had a Lewis and Clark discussion for like a half hour.
I don't want to stop recording.
Just wait until next week when we talk about Just Like Jesse James, bro. By Cher. Oh, you're gonna love it. Do your research.
Shut up. You know that next week's episode is about Amelia Earhart.
Alpha female. We'll
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is just gonna turn into a whiskey history.
if she was
docu.
if she was an alpha, she wouldn't have crashed. That's a really bad joke.
Christ, we're editing that out. Oh my god. All right. Anyway, the other documentary that we were talking about is on Hulu. And it's called Neat.
Hulu.
Yeah.
Heat, the story of Neat, the story of bourbon.
Yeah.
And then Scotch on Amazon Prime is Scotch, a golden. What is it?
Gold.
You texted it to
golden
me.
Glass? Golden.
Come on. What are we, amateurs?
Right? What do we do? Research on Lewis and Clark instead of whiskey?
Yeah. Scotch, a golden dream.
Golden Dream. Okay.
So a golden dream on Amazon Prime, and then Neat, the story of bourbon on Hulu
Yeah.
are really good documentaries to check and look into. So
Yeah.
is it documentary or is it documentary?
Documentary. Well, because it's elementary, right? Or do you say elementary?
I used to say elementary for like years, and then I got corrected.
I don't think it's a corrected thing. It's just
No.
whatever you feel like.
I straight up got corrected by a teacher. Like, it's pronounced elementary. And I was like, oh, so it's not elementary?
Well, there's so like if you say middle school, high school, and what do you say about the school? Like for that
What?
word that we were just talking about.
Oh, I gotcha. Well, now I just say it's elementary. Elementary school, middle school, high school, and then university instead of college.
Oh, God, so you're the Canadian? Don't they call it university instead of college?
Everyone outside of the U.S. calls it university.
Everybody outside of the U.S. does everything different than the U.S. does.
Correct.
So that goes back to the bourbon talk. So the Neat documentary, it is very, very interesting because they just talk about bourbon and how you can only make bourbon in the U.S. And initially, you were only able to make, well, not only able, but Kentucky's obviously the people who started the bourbon, started making bourbon. But now you can make it anywhere as long as it's 51% corn aged in new char oak barrels and so on and so forth. But they talked they had industry guys on there too that have been in there for like their father's been in there, and then they went in there, and then their son's in there, and it's just a family industry at this point.
Right.
And it is so cool to watch the bourbon process and how to make bourbon, and also they do little cuts away, like to this guy talking about how to drink whiskey, how to smell it, and what you should be smelling. And if you pour whiskey in your hands, which was a really cool part in this episode. So if you pour whiskey in your hands and you smell it, you smell corn. If you slap your hands together and you rub them really quick, and then you smell it again, it's all alcohol. And then if you slap your hands together, you rub it again, and then you smell it, it smells grain. So the different, whether it's a chemical reaction or what have you, with the heat and the friction and all that stuff when you're pouring it into your hands, it'll trigger different smells that you're smelling based off of the temperature that the fumes or whatever is in your hands. And the first thing that Gina and I thought of is, remember that episode in Parks and Rec when they go out for Tom's bachelor party and he pours the scotch in Ron's hands and he's like, "What is this? This is the wrong way to consume alcohol."
Yes.
Because that's exactly what it looked like. Because he was literally pouring whiskey in their hands and like, "All right, smack it, rub it together, boom, you're drunk." It's like, whoa, wasn't expecting that. But it was a really cool documentary. I definitely suggest listening or watching that, and the one that you suggested.
Yeah.
We got about halfway through.
A Golden Dream, they talk about expensive scotch.
Oh, okay.
Like 50-year-old scotch for $630,000 per bottle.
Yeah.
And everybody on the show was like, it's not worth it. If you had $630,000 laying around, they still would not use that money to buy that old of scotch, because they said at a certain point it's overaged, and then it's just going to taste like straight wood and be horrible. And you would be better off to spend $630,000 on thousands of 15-year-old scotch bottles instead of just one 50-year-old.
Yeah, I wonder what that age limit is, where you lose your flavors and you just get pure caramel, vanilla, and oak.
Watch it.
Do they talk about it? Mm-hmm. Because
they talk about a lot of stuff regarding age.
Okay.
About bottles.
I'll have to finish that.
Yeah.
In another thing, I don't know if it was in your series or in mine, but they were talking about how if you're making scotch or any type of whiskey and you're aging it for 10, 15, 20 years, not only, and especially in that 60-year example, not only are you banking and that tasting good in 60 years, which is a huge investment, but you're also banking on people still liking whiskey in 60 years. Can you imagine that? Like, you put in a barrel right now, and you're like, I'm going to open this in 25 years. What if you've seen how crazy everything changes with all the fads and everything? Granted, people will still like whiskey, but can you imagine a point where people are like, you know what? Whiskey is actually tied to, like cigarettes. Whiskey is tied to a high increase in heart attacks. People shouldn't drink whiskey anymore. People just stop drinking whiskey. Now you're sitting on all this product that is 60 years old that you can't sell anymore? That's crazy.
Sounds like a rager.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'll be drinking all of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Call me up. I'll be there. Mm-hmm. All right, let's rate this coffee here.
That's a heart attack I'm willing to have.
Hell yeah, dude. I've already had 4. So this is the Premium Coffee Roaster Ethiopian
Blend.
Yaka what?
Seriously?
Say it. What is it?
Jürgen Schiefe.
Or Jürgen... No.
Jürgen Chief?
No.
Jürgen Schiefe. Jürgen Scheffy. Jürgen...
Let me see.
What do you want from me? It's 5:30 in the morning. It's 5:30 in the morning. Jürgen Chef.
Jürgen Cheefies. Okay, so this is the Ethiopian blend.
Yeah.
Interesting point. We just did an interview with Tim from Elma Wine and Liquor. Mm-hmm. Video quality's not the best. Little upset about that. And I'm throwing that out there right now. That way when you get to it, you're not surprised. The quality's good. It's just my shoulder's in the way because there wasn't a ton of room to record. Anyway, you'll see it when it goes. But so Tim is a huge fan of Ethiopian coffee. He's going to love this episode. We're going to rate this right now and let him know what's up.
All right, let's do it.
Ethiopian, fantastic, first of all. We'll leave it at that. So, premium coffee. Premium select Ethiopian Yirgacheffe. We put the yum in premium. That's clever, bro. That's clever.
That's our slogan. We put the yum in premium. You got to drink. We just had a beep.
What am I new here?
Catch up.
I'm trying to savor it, bro, so we can do a rating.
All right, let's do it.
All right, label branding.
I like their logo. It's simplistic. It's also a circle inside of a circle. They got the bisons in there.
Do you think they stole it from the Buffalo Happy Hour?
We're
No,
moving
they
on.
did not steal it
We're
from
moving
Buffalo
on.
Happy Hour.
Obviously,
But
they did not. They
I
were
like it.
around. They were
I
around
like it a
years
lot.
before us.
I like
yes,
it a lot.
me too.
It's simplistic.
Yes.
It is to the point,
It's recognizable.
and it's coffee. So I love it all.
Yes,
So A++.
A++.
Nose.
Oh, I gotta write these down. Are you getting anything off the nose other than coffee beans?
Gosh, I don't know, dude. So here's the thing. And this is what we should have done. If we do another coffee, actually, this is the real nose right here. In the bag. Still don't know. I gotta get better on my coffee senses. Whiskey, top notch.
I'm not getting anything.
I'm getting, it's very earthy. Smell the bag. It's very earthy. To me, this seems like a lower, this, and I could be 100% wrong, but for me, this seems like a lower elevation, earthy coffee.
Watch
So-
it super high elevation
Yeah, no.
and no earth.
We could say that about every single whiskey we've tried to.
It's true.
Like the first one, black pepper. No black pepper in this one. But yes, aren't you getting like an earthy, like a soil smell to it?
Yeah, but it's not like dirt.
No, it's not
just
dirt.
It's just earth.
God, that's such a vulgar word, dirt. But outside of that, that's kind of what I'm getting from that bag. I can't get much from this coffee.
No.
From it actually being brewed, because also, so you have to take into account when we're talking about whiskey, we talk about primarily it being neat, because that's the premium way to enjoy whiskey in its rarest form. When you're talking about coffee, you have many different types of methods to make your coffee. You have the drip method, which is what most common coffee makers are right now, where you put water in, you put your coffee in, and you press the on button. That's primarily a drip method.
Yep.
You have a pour over method, which is you manually pouring hot water over the grounds. And you have French press, you have percolators, you have a lot of different methods of coffee. Right now, we're drinking the drip method.
Yeah.
So this method might not be the most conducive to get the most out of the nose when it's already brewed. We probably should have done a French press, but my French press is actually at work, so I do not have it with me. So we're doing drip. So nose, I'm not getting too much. I'm honestly going to say B+.
I'm down. B+. Boom.
Because we're rating it based off of the coffee.
Yes.
If we're rating it based off of the coffee grounds, then I'll maybe give it an A++. But this is just the coffee. Initial taste, what are you getting?
Smooth greatness. So I can't
No bitter. It's not bitter at all.
it's straight up just leaves.
Yeah.
Nothing lingers. It just flows right down. I can't even pick anything up.
Honestly, I get a little bit of like a woody, not like an oak or anything, but like a wood, like branches or
That's
nature or
that's the
something like
earth.
that. Yeah. That's true. It's a better way to put it than branches. You get branches in this coffee.
Derek's in his backyard just gnawing on wood. What are
Go-
you doing?
Go get that stick. I'll chew on it too.
Yeah, I'm working on my palate. This is, I mean, it's just not even really getting anything. It's just super good coffee that I don't want to stop drinking.
But like it's not a Folgers or a Maxwell House or something that is
Because it
commercially
isn't,
made.
it's not coarse.
It's not coarse. It is very smooth, and it doesn't. For me, the taste does not vary based off of where it is in the tasting spectrum. Like, the initial taste tastes the exact same as the ending taste, which tastes exactly the same as the nose.
Yes.
It is a very consistent cup of coffee.
One-dimensional.
But not in a bad way.
Correct.
One-dimensional, like, every time you pour a glass, you'll know exactly what it tastes like.
Yes. This chair's annoying me. We need to spray it with WD-40.
We need to get new chairs.
We do.
We need to get sponsors.
We do. And subs.
Dude, I could go for a turkey sub right now.
Oh, man, it does sound really good.
Right?
Right, anyways.
That's what I'm saying. Turkey bacon. Oil or mayo?
Mayo, dude.
What about oil and mayo?
No. I'm not an oil kind of guy.
No?
No, I'm a mayo kind of guy.
Gotcha.
Final rating.
All right, Miracle Whip or mayo? Last thing.
Mayo.
Okay.
Miracle Whip is not... That's like, ooh, you're going to use margarine or can't believe it's not butter. Dude, oh, you don't watch it because something's wrong with you. But Family Guy has a skit where Peter has I can't believe it's not butter, and he goes mad. He's sitting there and he's like, oh, I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it. And then he's like in a hospital setting and he's like, I still can't believe it. Dude, I was in tears.
All right, so initial taste. What are we giving it? I'll give it an A+.
Yeah, A+.
Okay, ending notes, I'm going to go the same.
Yes.
Okay.
A+ across the board. And
I'm still getting that earthy.
yeah, the only thing that you can't pick up specific dried fruits or nothing like that, but this also isn't flavored. We're going to have to do another episode where something is flavored. This is just an extremely smooth, consistent blend of coffee that you would want to have in the morning when you don't want to think about a damn thing. You just want to relax, possibly have a conversation with good company. That's what this is for.
Yeah.
Like their chocolate raspberry, they have blueberry cobbler, they have a house blend, they have different flavored decafs, they have organic coffees. They have a realm of different things. They have Tuscany that we can look at in future episodes and rate because we have options now. So for this, it's just a very smooth, consistent blend, which leads to a final rating. We need a countdown.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
94.
Okay. 93. Nailed it. Let's do it. We actually have to add steel bound, and then we're going to erase this board.
After posting a photo.
And maybe we'll go blue this time. We got a blue marker.
Yeah, we're going to switch it up.
Switch it up a little bit. But yeah, so that is the rating on that. It is a very good cup of coffee, and you actually have something a little bit more extravagant, right? The coffee that you bought?
The flavor, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have blueberry cobbler.
Oh, brother. But, so...
I wanted the antioxidants. Next week, we're going to talk about our extreme contrasts when it comes to diet and lifestyle, because it's hilarious.
It's going to be a 4-hour episode. Every single day, I look at Mike, and he says something ridiculous, and I look at him, and I go, Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? Or I can't stand you.
For example, yesterday after the interview, we were talking about dinner last night, and we tried HelloFresh. Somebody bought it for us off of our wedding registry, so we got 3 meals to start, and we've been making them for dinner. And we had a pasta dish for the first. Last night we did a shrimp zucchini noodle rice bowl, and it was incredible. But anyways, after eating it, I was still hungry. And then I told you that I had an F-ton, I'm not going to swear, of granola after dinner to then fill my stomach. And you're like, wait, what do you mean you just ate granola?
Yeah, and literally my exact words were, I don't think that has ever come out of my mouth in my entire life. Dude, I just had an F-ton of granola. It's like, what? I didn't even know that combination of words existed. Who has an F-ton of granola? And you were pumped about it, too.
Dude, it's ancient grain granola.
I don't care what it is.
From Wiegmann's. It's amazing. I eat that instead of cereal. I use ancient grain granola with almond milk, and that's my cereal. Instead of, like, I don't know.
Actual cereal.
Yeah. Like Fruity
Cereals,
Pebbles and
Frosted
2%
Flakes.
whole milk.
All right, what is your go-to cereal?
Oh, goodness, dude.
I'm putting you on the spot. And don't say an F-ton of granola or else I'm turning this podcast
No.
off.
Actual cereal.
Yeah, actual cereal.
So I can crush honeycomb.
Okay.
I can
like that choice.
Yeah, I can crush Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles. And then the other, what's the cookie? It's a legit cookie. You don't remember that?
No.
Cereal?
No.
Someone's going to drop a comment and just be screaming right now because I can't remember.
Hold on. You can do Fruity Pebbles and which other one?
Cocoa Pebbles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So the same thing, basically.
Yeah, Cocoa Puffs, and then honeycomb. I can do serious damage.
So you're more of like the flavor kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't eat Cheerios, dude. That's
God,
not.
What is wrong with you? See, this is what I mean. There's another contrast. My go-to is Honey Nut Cheerios.
That's different. That's Honey Nut.
Is it though?
I'm talking plain Cheerios, dude. That makes me want to gag. It's so boring. That's like having cornflakes and not putting sugar over the top of it.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing?
Cornflakes and Honey Nut Cheerios are mine. Go-to.
Cornflakes and Honey Nut Cheerios?
Yeah, not combined.
Okay.
But all right.
Have you combined?
No, I haven't.
You've never combined cereals?
No, I'm not an animal.
Seriously? We did because we couldn't afford to just go out and buy new cereal. It's like, no, we have to finish the cereal that's in there, and if you didn't have enough of one to have a full bowl, then you mixed.
But then I just have the first one and then add more milk and then add the next.
Are you
I
cereal
was just
and
gonna
then
say
milk?
that.
Or are you milk then cereal?
Cereal then milk. I'm not a barbarian.
For the first or second bowl, or for all bowls?
Well, I'm not going to waste the milk or pour it into a glass after.
So you don't finish the milk and then start fresh for every bowl?
No.
Okay.
But I'll put cereal in first and then milk on top. And then once I'm done destroying my Honey Nut Cheerios, I'll throw a little more on top of it and add more milk.
The only time I add milk to my fourth bowl of cereal is because the first set of milk is like starting to get warm because I just keep eating cereal.
Did you ever do like the Reese's peanut butter puffs or whatever and then do like drink the chocolate milk after or even use chocolate milk instead of regular milk?
Yes to both.
Yeah.
Same with Cocoa Pebbles and even Fruity Pebbles.
It wasn't there a
And Cocoa
chocolate
Puffs.
Rice Krispie too or no?
Yeah, they had chocolate Rice Krispies, but they also used Fruity Pebbles too. Most people just went to that instead of chocolate Rice
Are you a
Krispies.
Lucky Charms guy?
Hell yeah, I'm a Lucky Charms guy.
Do you like the marshmallows?
Yes.
Dude, I don't like marshmallows to begin with. So
God,
I
dude.
never really had Lucky Charms because I don't like marshmallows. So there was no point for me to have Lucky Charms.
Gotcha. I'm trying to find the cereal that had made of cookies.
Dunkaroos. Dude, I crushed Dunkaroos when I
Me
was
too,
younger.
man.
I wish those things would come back.
Oh yeah.
They
Well, I'm
will
getting a
eventually.
recipes for homemade cookies. I don't want that. I want the original Cookie Crisp.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're
I
talking
used to
about.
slam it, dude. Slam Cookie Crisp.
What about Captain Crunch?
Yeah, hell yeah. But then I'd cut the inside of my mouth open because I would eat so much of it.
Did you like the regular Captain Crunch or the peanut butter Captain Crunch?
Both.
Yeah.
But peanut butter was preferred. That's how I felt with episode 7 where we were trying screwball whiskey.
Okay, let's take a different approach to this discussion.
Okay.
What cereal do you not like? Because literally everything that we've talked about, like, yeah, bro, I'd crush that. We haven't said one bad thing about a cereal yet, except for regular Cheerios.
Well, no.
My city
yeah,
does smell like Cheerios, though.
It does.
Love it all the time.
Yeah. So, regular Cheerios I can't stand. Total was kind of boring.
Well, that was like every mother named Karen had that.
Yeah, because it was the healthy thing.
Right. But do you like Special K? Special K slams, bro. I like
It
Special
does.
K.
Yes, it does. Special K is really good.
We're talking about the cereal, not the drug.
Strawberry Special K, I wasn't a huge fan of.
Yeah, because the strawberries were weird.
What about Wave? Remember Wave?
No, I don't know
It
if
was
I've ever had
basically
Wave.
like a Fig Newton and milk, but they filled it with chocolate. It was like a pastry puff that they filled with chocolate on the
Oh,
inside.
okay.
Slam those
You know
too.
what we're going to do?
Have an
Next
episode
week.
with cereal.
Next week, we're going to do... Maybe this is another 4 a.m. episode. We just keep moving our episodes earlier and earlier.
I know.
But what we're going to do is we're going to not eat cereal because that'll be obnoxious. Having the spoon hit my teeth and like doing all the slurping
Yeah,
and
it'd be
everything. We'll
disgusting.
lose all of our followers then.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do is we're going to do a bracket, like a baseball bracket or a basketball bracket. And we're going to compare cereals against each other and then come up with the winner, number one cereal for both of us.
Okay.
I think that'd be fun, bro.
Can we get the fans involved?
Sure. But like we'll do ours first and then we'll like ask if they agree, don't agree, and like or they can throw out suggestions on what to include in the bracket.
All right.
That's what we'll do.
We'll have a bracket duel.
That'd be sick.
Hell yeah.
Because clearly we love all cereal. But this bracket will like what's our favorite number one cereal?
What about Honey Bunches of Oats?
I like it. I don't hate it.
Same.
A little vanilla. Like the vanilla crumble. All I just remember is that commercial where they're like, honey bunches of oats. That's all that I remember.
And they're walking around inside the factory with hairnets on.
Yeah. But what about that bee though from Honeycomb or from Cheerios? That bee always made me like anxious. He's just flying around with the honey thing, and I'm like, bro, relax a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really care. I just
We'll
wanted
talk
to eat
about it more next week.
All right, let's do
It's
it.
going to be our episode next week. It's a little cereal showdown.
I like that.
Hell yeah. All right, Michael. Well, we are at an hour.
All right, so
Nailed
long.
it.
Goodbye.
Yeah, really. Bye. Quick. Shut off. No. So that is the episode. Go like all of our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, everything.
Yep.
Our podcast is available on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe to us. Leave a comment down below what you liked about this episode. Who the bigger alpha male is, Lewis or Clark? Please let us know. Or it's Skajakwita Expressway, one of them. They had to have been. So leave a comment down below, like the video. We're also available on all the podcast platforms. We have a ton of interviews coming out, so make sure you subscribe and share this content with some people. Let them know what we got coming up, because we want more people to listen to this, because we got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We're already booked throughout April, so this podcast isn't going anywhere. And yeah, next episode is going to be a peach. Leave us a review on iTunes too. We got to get that going, and then
on
also
Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook, and then also too, we talked about this a little bit last month. I think we're doing a event with the Buffalo Distilling, and we're selling tickets on our Facebook page. So if you go to the Buffalo Happy Hour on Facebook and you find our events, the event is going to be March 29th from 6 to 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Tickets are $25. And with that ticket, you get 2 free drink tickets, and then there's going to be appetizers out there. So like pierogies, charcuterie boards, and all that stuff.
Yep.
So if you go to our Facebook event, you can buy tickets right there through Eventbrite. Let us know if you're having any issues with Eventbrite. I've been told that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've had no issues so far with people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let me know if you have any issues with it, but go buy those tickets. On our Facebook event, we have like about 105 people that are interested in going. So, the limit right now for tickets is about around 75. So, if all those 100 people say that they're going, you're not going to have tickets. So, go buy now. That way, you can basically ensure your spot for the actual event.
Yeah,
It's gonna
because
be a
just
fun
because
time.
you respond going on Facebook doesn't mean you're actually going.
Yeah.
You need the ticket.
Yeah.
So buy the ticket.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you all for watching, and this has been episode 22 of the Buffalo Happy Hour.
See you soon.
Peace. All right, now pose for a picture. Well, I'll pose for a picture. All right. I'm going to include that in the actual episode.
What were you doing?
Let's just look like this.
Oh, and I'm just looking like a jackass?